Practicing gratitude on a daily basis can change your brain and your life. The positive effects of practicing gratitude are actually really well supported by research. Research shows that people who regularly practice being grateful show significantly higher levels of happiness and psychological well-being. They're less depressed, less stressed, less anxious, and they report having fewer symptoms of physical pain. We also see that a regular practice of gratitude can have a positive impact on our success in life, both in our studies and at work. Research shows that when we practice being grateful, we tend to have a higher self-esteem. So there are lots of benefits and positive effects of practicing gratitude. And actually, research shows that just 2 consecutive weeks of practicing daily gratitude can have a lasting impact on our mood and our emotional well-being. So in today's video, we're going to have a closer look at what it actually means to practice gratitude. We're going to look at why it works. And finally, I'll share some ways with you that you can start implementing practicing gratitude in your own life to start seeing the amazing benefits. So in my daily work as a psychologist, I mostly work with people struggling with anxiety, stress, and depression. I also work with some people who just want to boost their mental well-being without having any specific issues or problems that they're dealing with. Practicing gratitude is a really powerful and effective tool that I use with most of my clients. It works really well for people who are struggling with a specific psychological problem, but it also works really well if you just want to boost your mental well-being. This is one of the tools that I consistently see work really well for my clients. It's fairly easy to get started with, and you see the benefits even after just a few weeks of doing it. Many of us have a natural tendency to focus more on the negatives in our lives rather than the positives. This is a natural human tendency, but it gets even more amplified if we're struggling with issues like stress, anxiety, and depression. We can really get locked into a cycle of focusing on all the negative things, and we get more and more removed from the things that are actually positive. We simply don't see them anymore. One of the fundamental beliefs of a lot of different therapeutic approaches is that we have the power to control our thoughts, but that our thoughts have the power to control our reality. What we give our attention and our focus to simply shapes what we experience in life. This is why we sometimes see 2 people live through the exact same experience, but come out with completely different interpretations and experiences of what actually happened. If we focus on the negative things in our life, we will perceive and experience life more negatively. On the flip side, if we focus more on the positives, we'll start to experience life more positively. So what does it actually mean to be grateful? Gratitude doesn't mean just pretending that everything is fine and being in denial if anything goes wrong in your life. Practicing gratitude simply means focusing your time and your attention on the things in your life that you appreciate. We could say that our psychological well-being isn't actually a direct result of what happens in our lives, but more a result of what we pay attention to. So by practicing gratitude, we shift our brain's focus onto the things that we want to take up the most space in our lives. Gratitude is something we can practice and make a conscious effort to cultivate, just like healthy eating habits, exercise, or meditation. So I said before that I often see working with my clients in therapy who are experiencing stress, anxiety, or depression, that there's a tendency our negative emotions take up more and more space in our lives. Practicing gratitude is a way of evening out that emotional experience of life. So if we know there's a natural tendency for negative emotions to take up more space in our life when we're feeling stressed, anxious, or depressed, then practicing gratitude can be a good way to counterbalance that effect. Practicing gratitude can be used as a conscious tool to bring back that balance so that the negative doesn't become all-consuming in our life. So let's have a quick look at some of the reasons why practicing gratitude has a positive effect on our mental well-being. Let's start at the physical, chemical level of the brain. Studies using functional MRIs have measured the brain activity of people practicing gratitude. Doing this allows them to see what parts of the brain are activated. What they found was that when we feel grateful, our brain releases dopamine and serotonin. These are 2 crucial neurotransmitters that are responsible for our emotion regulation. Generally speaking, they make us feel good. They enhance our mood and they make us feel happy from within. So research suggests that the more we think happy and grateful thoughts, the healthier and the happier we feel. Now, because of the flexibility and the plasticity of the brain, we can see these positive effects become long-lasting, essentially rewiring our brains to be more positive. Another reason why practicing gratitude has a positive effect on our psychological well-being is that it anchors us in the present moment. This is similar to some things that we see from practices of mindfulness. By focusing our attention on our sensations, we can appreciate the little things in life. Things like the sound of the bird chirping away, the warm touch of the sun on our skin, or the voice of a loved one. There's so much appreciation that can be felt by focusing on our sensations. Some of us can naturally appreciate these little moments throughout our day, but for most of us, it takes a conscious effort to cultivate gratitude. Focusing on our sensations is a way of disengaging from our thoughts and appreciating the moment just as it is. The final reason that I've chosen to include here of why gratitude has a positive effect on our mental well-being is that practicing gratitude helps keep us mentally resilient. We all go through difficult times in our lives where we feel like things don't go our way. When we go through times of adversity, it can be really easy to get overwhelmed by all the negatives. It's really easy to get caught up in a feeling of being out of control of the things that are happening in your life. But gratitude can bring us back to something that we can always control, our thoughts. We always have the power to control our thoughts and what we give our attention to. While we're stuck in worrying or ruminating, we lose sight of the things that we're actually still lucky to have in our life. By paying attention to the positive, we rebalance our thoughts and our emotions. Gratitude can be a really powerful tool to help us experience some joy even when we're going through dark times. So I'd like to share a couple of ways that you can get started with practicing gratitude in your life. I've chosen to include two quite different approaches that tend to resonate with different people. The first one is a writing exercise, and the second one is more of a thought exercise, more like a meditation. I'd encourage you to try the one that you think you'd feel the most comfortable practicing. So the first one is to write a daily gratitude journal. This is one of the easiest ways to start practicing gratitude. So here I want you to take time out every day to write down some things that you're grateful for. Describe in as much detail as possible how your body feels when you express gratitude. What kind of thoughts do you notice? What sensations do you feel in your body? And what emotions accompany these bodily sensations? Gratitude can't be forced and you can't rush through it. Take time to explore how you actually feel. After letting these feelings arise naturally, you can start to direct your attention on specific events or situations that made you grateful that day. For example, you might recall a happy memory that you're thankful for. Or you could turn your attention to a past problem that you overcame, which might make you feel grateful for being in a better place now and having learned in the process. Research shows that when we write down things that we're grateful for, it becomes considerably harder to ruminate on negative experiences. It simply shifts our focus onto the positive ones. If you don't feel like writing things down or keeping a journal like I've just suggested, you can also try gratitude meditation. I'll talk you through the steps of a meditation now that you can spend about 20 minutes on doing. This can really help you get in touch with how you're feeling and what you're truly grateful for. So I want you to get into a comfortable seated position. Relax with your eyes closed. Take 10 deep abdominal breaths. Relax in the mind and body. Take whatever comes to mind first and build on that thought. Expand upon this positive experience or memory. Savor this experience and notice your bodily sensations. Intensify this feeling even further by vividly visualizing this memory. Try to keep that experience in mind longer than usual. Now, if you find both of these options a little bit daunting to get started with, simply take a few minutes each night before going to sleep to think back on the day that you've just lived. Pick out 3 things that you've felt grateful for or happy with, or you feel like you've succeeded in throughout the day. These can either be experiences that you've had, or they could be people that you've met or dealt with that have made a positive impact on your day. Again, this actively counterbalances the natural tendency that we have to focus on the negative things or the things that we didn't quite finish or get done through the day. Doing this right before bedtime allows us to be filled by these positive emotions and thoughts before going to sleep. Another aspect of gratitude that I want to quickly introduce you to is when we show our gratitude towards others. Showing and expressing gratitude can really help strengthen our relationships. By simply finding something to be grateful for, we can overcome issues like anger and irritation in our relationships and feel happier. Going one step further and actually voicing our appreciation for one another can be a really powerful way to strengthen and even repair emotional bonds. Telling your loved ones what you appreciate about them will make them feel seen and appreciated, which is crucial in a relationship. Try to express gratitude towards someone close to you every single day. Make it a habit to find something that you're grateful for within them and let them know. It will really lift the people around you up and it'll help strengthen your relationships. Now, it does take a little bit of time to start seeing the positive effects of practicing gratitude. In studies that have been conducted looking at the effects of practicing gratitude, it's been clear that the positive psychological benefits haven't emerged straight away. We tend to really start seeing the positive effects after about 2 weeks of practicing daily gratitude. But what's really uplifting and encouraging with gratitude is that we tend to see a psychological snowball effect where the positive effects keep on rolling even if you stop practicing gratitude again. Now, for most psychological tools and methods, we see that the effects wear off if we stop practicing them. For gratitude, it's a bit different, and we can see lasting effects of practicing gratitude to up to 6 months after we stop practicing again. So if you do try any of these methods out that I've shared with you today, don't be surprised if you don't feel an effect immediately. Be patient and know that the positive effects will take a little while to kick in. Another side bonus of practicing gratitude daily is that over time it will become a habit just like any other habit. So while at first it might take a lot of conscious effort to sit down and focus on practicing gratitude, over time what you'll typically see is that it becomes much easier and it takes a lot less conscious effort. It becomes a habit and it simply becomes the new way that you look at things and think about things. Regardless of whether you're facing psychological challenges or you just want to boost your mental well-being, I encourage you to give gratitude a try. Much of our time and energy is spent pursuing things that we don't currently have. Gratitude redirects and focuses our attention onto the things that we already have in our lives. If you do decide to try it out, try to stick with it for at least a couple of weeks to start seeing the benefits. And if you do give it a go, please share in the comments how you find it. I'd love to hear about your experiences. I upload new psychological insights, tips and tools on this channel every single week. If you're not already, I'd love for you to subscribe so we can meet again. Thank you for watching this one. Take care and bye for now.